What if you could get inside the minds of the world's most successful people? Not from a book, but from someone who actually knows them, who works with them every day. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We are distilling the 6 key lessons and mindsets learned from 94 different billionaires.
So get this. The source for these lessons has the personal phone numbers of 94 billionaires. Now, there are only about 2,600 billionaires in the entire world, and this guy works directly with almost 100 of them. That is a level of access and insight that is just incredibly rare.
And we're not just talking about names in a contact list. He truly sees every single one of them as a mentor. By negotiating with them, solving their unique problems, and just being in their world, he's learned these powerful lessons about how they operate on a totally different level than the rest of us. So, what are the secrets? What's the big takeaway? Well, you might be surprised to hear it's not actually about the money itself. It's about how they have achieved this incredible mastery over 3 other currencies: their time, their trust, and their focus. And we're going to unpack 6 key lessons, 2 for each of these core areas. All right, first up, let's dive into time. For the ultra-wealthy, this isn't just some resource. It is their greatest and most fiercely protected asset. Honestly, it's way more valuable to them than any dollar amount. So, lesson number 1, they text way more than they call. Now, this probably flips what you'd expect about high-stakes business, right? We think big deals mean long phone calls and endless meetings. But for them, phone calls are a huge, inefficient drain on their time. Think about it. Jeff Bezos makes something like $2,500 a second. A simple 10-minute phone call has a massive opportunity cost. So instead, they prefer to fire off a quick text, a voice note, or even use disappearing messages for sensitive info. And just how far do they take this? I mean, it's pretty wild. Our source has literally negotiated $100 million deals entirely over text message. A simple 60 followed by a heart emoji can actually be a formal offer. Now compare that to someone buying a $1 million house who might demand dozens of calls and meetings. It is a complete and total mindset shift. Okay, lesson 2 is that they are absolute masters at eliminating wasted time even in the smallest moments. Here's a great story. A billionaire client orders his dinner the instant the waiter shows up with water. There's no looking at the menu, no asking about the specials. Nope, the decision is made and now the entire meal is dedicated purely to the conversation. They make big decisions quickly because that's their job, and they refuse to let small decisions eat up their valuable time and energy. All right, let's move on to our second theme, which is all about mastering relationships. This section covers 2 really powerful lessons about the kind of paradoxical way billionaires handle both trust and money. Lesson 3, billionaires are incredibly guarded. I mean, getting into their inner circle is extremely difficult. And why is that? Well, because at their level, almost every single new person wants something from them, and they have almost certainly been burned or taken advantage of before. So, naturally, this makes them highly protective of who they let in. And that trust, it is unbelievably fragile. You could have a 10-year working relationship with one of them, but if you make one mistake, you lie, you show up late just once, you give some bad advice, it's over. Instantly, they lose all confidence and will just move on. They have loyalty, for sure, but only as long as that relationship is working for both sides.
Now for lesson 4, and this one is a fascinating paradox. Billionaires can be incredibly cheap about one thing and then wildly lavish with another. They might literally kill a business deal over $5 if it's for a possession that doesn't add any long-term value, but they will happily overspend by millions of dollars on something they see as an investment in future growth.
And that's the key right there. Things that we see as pure luxury are often strategic assets to them. A massive yacht or a castle in France, that's not just for a vacation, it's a venue. It's a place where they can host other powerful people and get massive deals done in a totally private setting. The asset literally pays for itself by generating future business. Okay, our final theme is all about mastering energy and focus. These last 2 lessons really get to the heart of how they apply their mental energy to achieve such incredible scale. Lesson 5 is a total game changer. They focus only on what they are uniquely best at. They've reached a point where their entire day is structured around making the absolute biggest decisions that only they can make. All the little stuff, the minutia, everything else, it's leveraged and delegated to other people. It's a fundamental shift away from doing the work to leveraging the work. This brings us to our final and maybe most interesting lesson. We might think that with all that money, they don't have any problems, but that's just not true. So what kind of problems does a billionaire actually have? The answer is actually pretty simple. They're still human, of course, but they just have higher quality problems. The scale is on a completely different planet from what most of us experience.
So what does a high-quality problem even look like? Well, imagine this. A billionaire's main private jet has a mechanical issue, and he's super frustrated because now he has to charter a different one. It sounds absurd, I know, but here's the key. It's an awkward problem. He can't just complain about it to his old college buddies or most people in his office. It's a completely unrelatable issue. And that is lesson number 6. The real ticket into their world is to become the trusted person who can solve these awkward, high-quality problems. When you can help them navigate the issues they can't discuss with anyone else, you become indispensable. You become part of that tiny, trusted inner circle.
So, after taking a peek into their world, how can we actually apply this mindset to our own lives? I mean, we might not have a private jet, but these core principles are surprisingly universal. Let's end with this thought. You don't need $1 billion to upgrade the quality of your problems. By focusing your time, protecting your trust, and really applying your unique expertise, you start facing better, more interesting challenges. So ask yourself, what is the highest quality problem you can focus on and solve right now?